really wants to know.
I agree.
If he had said, yes, I'm going to be back in the Patriots uniform, Patriots Nation, but what, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Okay, now we on to something. But this is, basically saying, look, I still believe I can play. I still believe I can play at a high level. I still believe I can help some team reach the ultimate destination, which is the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So this is what I thought, what Tom Brady always says a whole bunch of nothing. Says that, yeah, I still can play. I still believe I can play.
But that's not
and
a
I
whole
wanna
bunch
play.
of nothing.
He won't skip. He said that Saturday night.
It wasn't this definitive.
Yeah.
It was, I think and I hope I'm going to come back and
Well,
play.
let me ask you a question. Are you going to play like you played Saturday night?
Let me ask you a question. Is he going to have any help next year?
Whoa. Tom Brady, Skip Bayless for the last 3 years. He went up there and he pointed at 3 guys from Dorchester.
Yep.
You, and you. Come on, I need you today.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those guys were hurt on Saturday night, and he had to pick 3 more. And they've never even played football before.
So in other words, if Tom Brady can no longer do more with less, he's no longer the same guy. Am I correct? That's all I want people to say. That's all I've been saying, Skip.
But in the past, he's at least had some pass protection. In the past, he's at least had some running game. He had neither this year.
But they never gave. They said Tom Brady is getting rid of the ball so quick. Look at Joey Bosa was saying, man, you got to hold on to the ball. Tom Brady was bing, bing. Skip Bayless, you come here, bing, bing, bing. Now, all of a sudden.
It's hard to get rid of it quick when nobody can separate from press coverage. So a defender is nose to nose with you, and he's trying to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds, and you have no time to separate because you can't.
So in other words, even though these guys weren't Julio Jones, they weren't Antonio Brown, Danny Amendola, and Julian Edelman and Chris Hogan, they were pretty good. They were better than what people gave them credit for. Because remember, it was all Tom Brady and how he was doing more with less. Now that he has less and he can't do more, what is it, Skip Bayless?
Well, he did have this guy named Gronkowski, who became Matt Lacoste, or Benjamin Watson, age 39.
So the guy Gronkowski that was injured when Brady orchestrated the second greatest comeback in playoff history, but the greatest playoff in Super Bowl history. He did that without that Gronk? So if he's the guy that everybody's telling me that he is, shouldn't he still be able to do that?
Remember Brandon Cooks? Belichick gave him, he didn't give him away, but he sent him away for a first-round pick, right?
Brandon Cooks got hurt in the first quarter.
In the Philly
game.
Okay.
And he threw for 500 yards.
Remember Malcolm Mitchell? He caught a bunch of balls in that Atlanta comeback,
Super Bowl, yes.
7 for 70 in that range, right?
Yeah.
Hurt his knee, gone for good.
Yes.
Okay? No weapons. Nobody's left.
Skip.
Covered bare.
Skip, all I'm saying is this. If Brady was still the same guy, he could do more with less. But because his play has slipped somewhat, Skip, I didn't say he stepped off a cliff, but everybody that watches Brady realizes, except the ones that want to make excuses, why he did. Well, maybe he's tired and he's not having fun. Or he got a foot injury. He got an elbow injury. He got a this or that. If you just evaluate Tom Brady, Father Time waits on no man. He's coming and says, you know what? Brady is 42. He's not the same guy, so he needs more help. So if he needs more help, automatically that tells you he's not the same guy, because for the longest, he could do it with less.
Okay, but if you had put Patrick Mahomes in this year's Patriot offense, he would have had a long, hard, frustrating year.
Nobody has ever said Patrick Mahomes does more with less. Nobody has said that. They said that about him.
I've said he does less with more occasionally.
Stop playing.
Well, he does.
Stop doing that.
Well, they lost 2 straight home games. I don't know.
They gave Tom Brady the edge over Peyton Manning because he had Reggie Wayne, he had Marvin, he had Dallas Clark, and Peyton Manning could still beat him with lesser receivers.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, guess what's happening in spite of what you're saying? He's close to being finished, and he needs more help. There's a groundswell out there of, how about Tom here? How about him going there?
Yes.
How about Tony Dungy yesterday campaigning, all but campaigning out loud? Tom, come to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I don't think Tom wants to live in Indianapolis, but I could be surprised, because Tony's case was, we have everything he needs. We have one of the best offensive lines. We have a very good running back. We have a fast group of receivers.
Right.
We have a pretty good defense. Why not come here, Tom?
That would Skip. And when you evaluate it, you look at the Chargers, you look at Indy. But here's the thing that he has to, and when I heard people say, well, it's not about the rings and things, it's absolutely about that, because he has to win. See, he has to be better than Coach Belichick.
Sure.
That's the only thing that matters.
I mean, next year's all about a ring.
Yeah. His whole career moving forward, because if he does not get a ring, what will people say, Skip? It was all Belichick's system. So Tom understands that if he gets from out from under this umbrella, he can't get wet.
Okay, so Tom senses the groundswell out there because our man Terrell Owens even tweeted yesterday to Dallas, let Dak go, because he's a free agent, and bring in Brady. And AB, Antonio Brown, tweeted the other day, I only want to play for Tom Brady. Wherever he goes, I want to go there. Obviously, he couldn't go back to New England with Tom.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a groundswell. So how do I interpret this post? And it's a long post, which I encourage everybody to go read the whole thing. But there's a lot of past tense early in it that sounds like he's thanking Patriot Nation and Patriot fans who attended the game for all their support. And it sounded past tense to me. It sounded like, I'm leaving, but thank you very much. Now, Tom is a shrewd operator. He might also be sending a message, you know, sort of dropping the gauntlet for both Kraft and Belichick. How are you going to respond to this? Because I'm going to play next year, and it looks like he's leaning toward playing elsewhere. So, again, you could say that he's, for the first time in his Patriot life, he is now negotiating, saying, who are you going to side with, Robert Kraft?
Yeah.
You're going to take me back, or do you want him back? And it sounds like it's a him or me.
But Coach Belichick doesn't have social media, so he doesn't have my book or NetJets or whatever. You know, he was trying to explain the different platforms of social media. And Coach Belichick said, I don't have any of that. So somebody's going to have to relay to this. Coach Belichick, did you see what Tom, you know, tweeted or IG?
Sure, you got to print out.
Mr. Kraft will know.
They'll know.
He will carefully
Mr. Kraft is here. Mr. Kraft is up to date on stuff like this. Coach Belichick is already plotting and planning how he's scheming how I'm going to win a Super Bowl without you knowing.
That is correct. But Mr. Kraft, as we speak, is trying to read between the lines of what's going on here. And now he's in the line of fire because the onus is now on him. It's like, whose side are you going to pick this time? 2 years ago, he picked Tom's side.
Well, Skip, it's almost like it's like mediation. You got Coach Belichick on one side, you got Tom Brady on the other, and Mr. Kraft is the mediator. And so he's going to have to he's going to have to be the voice of reason here. Now, somebody is going to be ticked off. Either way, Skip, and the hardest thing is to work with someone that you're ticked off with.
Okay. Just remember, if Tom Brady does go to the Los Angeles Chargers, if he goes elsewhere, it's going to look bad for Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. It's just it would just make them look bad, like they lost him or they ran him out of town because they didn't give him enough support.
Yeah, we gave him enough support, Skip. I mean, Skip, at some point in time, there's only you've already replaced the engine. You've already given a new Jenny. You've gotten 20 years out of the car. How many more? You're not getting 20 more.
Robert Kraft, as the owner of the Patriots, has experienced 20 years of glory.
Yes.
He has been one of the most beloved figures in the history of Boston area New England sports.
But guess what happens, Skip? If you keep holding on to a guy and you keep missing out on opportunities, you'll spend 20 years in perpetuity.
Okay, I hear you. But what did Robert Kraft say Saturday to Peter King? He said, we hope we fit in Tom's plans going forward. But what did he give? He gave the two options. He would either play with us next year or retire.
Right.
Well, Tom just drew a line in the sand and said, I am not going to retire.